A ver, creo que ya estábamos en directo, chicos. Va todo bien, el internet va muy bien, va muy bueno si quiero FPS. Muy bien, así que esperen un tantito. Ya saben que me gusta poner aquí el chat. Espero que sí se esté viendo. Muy bien. Quiero asegurarme de que sí se esté viendo porque luego no quiero cometer algún fail. Muy bien, sí se está bien. Voy a bajarlo un poquito porque siento que está muy alto. ¿Se está escuchando? Claro que sí. Pues bueno. Hey, ¿cómo está, gente de YouTube? Aquí un nuevo directo para el canal de nosotros nuevamente de Genshin Impact. Y como podrán ver, para los que no vieron la build de Sino, pues aquí, como pueden ver, ya lo tengo. Si no lo han visto y juegan Genshin Impact, les recomiendo mucho que vean ese video porque creo que sí me la rifé mucho con esa build. Pero bueno, chicos, vamos a hacer lo que es la misión legendaria de Navia porque ya tenemos nueva actualización que se ve muy épico. O sea, ya me he echado unos vistazos a la hora de mejorar personajes, mejorar una cosa, optimizar muchas cosas del juego. Creo que optimizaron también algo del mapa, creo que no me recuerdo. Tenemos nuevos dominios, que aquí hay uno y no sé dónde está el otro, que no lo veo. Sé que este ya lo estoy viendo, pero no sé dónde está el otro. Desconozco si tan siquiera es de Fontaine no dominio. Yo asumo que sí, porque es la nueva región. ¿Y esto qué es? Una aventura con la señorita Anne. Nunca supe qué era eso. Ah, ya, esto es una misión, es una de esas misiones extras. Pues bueno, sinceramente yo no veo el segundo dominio. A ver, eso sí me gustaría saber. ¿Dónde está el otro dominio? A ver, dominios. Los dos son de artefacto. Ahí hay uno. Es que son lo mismo. Sí, cierto, nunca desbloqueé este. Sí, cierto, nunca desbloqueé este. Pues muy bien, ahora sí, chicos, vamos a empezar con lo que es este directo. A ver, ¿qué nos cuenta? Cuenta. Ah, mira, quién llegó, justamente. Bueno, chicos, desafortunadamente, vamos a tener que tragarnos todo el texto. Hola, Nadia, ¿cómo has estado? Es la primera visión legendaria en la que nos encontramos directamente con el personaje. Proporcionándonos nuestra dosis diaria de aventura. Let's go.
We've wrapped up most of the rebuilding, but there are still a few things left to take care of. Stocking up on materials, confirming construction timelines, discussing compensation terms with families affected by the disaster. Between all of that, I've been making a lot of trips between the court and Poisson.
Pero Espina de Rosula también es una víctima, ¿no?
Well, though the victims have received relief payments from the court, in my opinion, as the administrators of Poisson, Spina di Rosula
Qué responsable es Navia, Dios santo.
Our financial situation right now isn't the best, so all we've been doing is signing agreements for the damages to be repaid at a later date. Though just pieces of paper now, they demonstrate our commitment. They're necessary to restore the people's faith in us.
Whoa, spoken like a true president. You are a really responsible leader.
Claro que sí, esa Navia.
Most of your time, though, right?
Oh, you bet. Between that and all the other errands I have to run at the court, I'm always forgetting.
Merece un descanso esa Navia. Vamos a ayudarle, viajera. No podemos permitir eso.
I took a page from Melusa's book and decided to make a list of everything. This way, it's easy to see which tasks you haven't checked off. And then, since Melus loved using shorthand, I decided to also follow his example and come up with some shorthand of my own. But after running a few errands in the city, I'm kind of struggling to even read my own handwriting anymore.
Aplausos.
That does sound like you, all right. So what kind of shorthand did you use?
Oh, want to take a look?
Let Paimon see. Wait, there's nothing here but a bunch of weird symbols.
Normal.
This looks like a piece of kelp wrapped around a stick. And this other one, is it supposed to be a boar in a box?
The first one has to do with confirming the final payment amount for the fisherman, while the second one is a
¿Y eso qué
reminder
tiene
to
que
try a
ver?
new burger that just hit the market.
La cara de esos dos.
Definitely see how you might forget what each of these mean.
Thank you for your advice. These are the kinds of things you only really figure out once you've tried them out yourself. I thought that as long as I understood my shorthand when I came up with it, I'd be sure to remember the symbols when I looked at them later. Unfortunately, I've definitely proven myself wrong.
Well, now you know for next time.
Anyway, I should have already taken care of most of the things on the list. There are still a few symbols that I can't decipher, but I don't think they're
No se
anything too
confíe, luego pasan
significant.
cosas malas por
Worst comes
confiarse.
to worst, I'll just make another trip.
Ah, so you're going to head back now?
Yep, that's the plan. Oh, actually, since we
A
talked about
ver.
the reconstruction earlier, wanna come with me and check out the town for yourself? You said you don't have any plans, right? So we can just catch a boat and head over. It won't take long at all.
Muy bien.
It's a bit sudden, but Paimon doesn't see why not. What do you think, Traveler?
Tengo curiosidad por ver cómo luce ahora Poison.
Then let's go. We'll take a boat over.
Oh, you mean the Aquabus, right? Like the Clementine line?
Oh, sorry. I meant our own boat. The Aquabus doesn't have a station near Poisson, so we'll use one of the Spinas.
Ah, esto es para ir directamente y esto es... oh, ahora te van a dar opciones de que si quieres ir directamente o si te quieres esperar. Oye, eso me gusta.
All right, follow me. I'll take you there.
Eso me gusta, ahorra muchísimo tiempo.
The engineer is still doing a few routine safety checks. We can head out as soon as we get the green light.
Muy bien.
So, Paimon has always wanted to ask. The 3 Aquabus lines are all named after people in your family, right?
Yeah, that's right. Callus and Navia are self-explanatory, while Clementine was the name that my mother went by.
If you provided the Mora to build the lines, then why isn't there even a dedicated line to Poisson? Spina di Rosula built all the lines, yet you still have to take a special boat just to go home. Paimon doesn't get it.
Well, what I heard is that most of our businesses don't actually use Poisson as a hub. So there was no real reason to build a line straight to Poisson. You are right that it is a bit strange, though. If you've already committed to build 3 lines, why not just add a 4th?
Sí, ayudaría mucho eso.
Paimon's saying the Aquabus is so convenient, it's really a huge shame.
Well, it is what it is. You know what my father was like. Even I often struggled to figure out what was going on in his head.
Al tratarse de algo tan importante, seguro que no lo decide él solo.
But that would only be the case if he cared about what others thought. My father was always really stubborn. Once he made up his mind, good luck getting him to change it. From what I've heard, the rights of all the other members of the Spina only went as far as giving him advice or suggestions, and no farther. That included my mother, too.
Huh. Well, that explains why you weren't on the greatest of terms with him.
Yeah, because I wouldn't just let him keep getting his way. He was just... not very agreeable.
Boss, the boat's ready. We can head out.
All right, then let's head out.
Vamos. Juntos sobre las olas. ¡Qué chido se ve! ¡Qué chido se ve!
It'll be a
¡Vamos!
while before we get to Poisson. Let's keep talking.
Navia, what was your mother like as a person?
¡A respeto!
I'm sorry, she totally forgot that you mentioned before that she passed away during childbirth, so you probably don't remember her at all.
That's all right. I've heard many stories about her from the rest of the Spina. They've always said that they were sure we would have gotten along famously. While my papa was stiff like a board, My mother was supposedly super cheerful and funny. Their complementary personalities allowed them to make up for each other's flaws. My father would run the businesses and expand our reach, while my mother would keep the peace and make sure that everyone was happy. Their work made sure that the Spina could grow and thrive.
Sounds like they were not just a well-matched couple, but fantastic business partners as well.
Yeah, but those are just stories and anecdotes after all. It's hard for me to piece together a more complete or intimate picture of her. But sometimes I'd still look at the Clementine line and wonder.
Hola Mario, muchas gracias por pasarte directo, te lo agradezco mucho, muchas
Had my
gracias.
mother survived? Silver once said that a name is a kind of inscription, a way to etch a memory into the world.
Hola Pinklow, muchas gracias por pasarte directo, te lo agradezco mucho, muchas gracias.
Can gain a completely new meaning. So I will always associate the line with her in my heart. Over the past few weeks, I've also begun to appreciate how water can take in and hold our most intense feelings and memories, as well as how one may reflect on their past by watching the sea. I've lost many beloved people and memories to the sea. Even though I cannot stop for them and must continue to keep moving, the fact won't change that they existed in my life and gave me the reason and motivation to move forward.
Las echas de menos.
Always. But no matter what, we can't change the past.
Así es, Navia.
I tell myself that I need to keep looking towards the future. Everyone, even my parents, have already overcome so many obstacles. Besides, I'm the president of Spina di Rosula. I've got to keep my chin up.
Muy bien dicho, Navia.
We've reached the shore. Let's go. I'll show you the new poisson.
Muy bien, vamos.
Navia, do you think she's doing all right? Okay, Paimon supposes you're right. She's really been through a lot. It couldn't...
Aquí llegamos.
Boss, you're back! Traveler and Paimon, welcome back to Poisson.
Oh, hey! Fancy seeing you again, Florent. Is it your turn to take care of Navia now?
Hey, I can totally take care of myself. For the time being, I'll go around without any attendance. We did hand over some of Malus's old responsibilities to Florent, though. It's been really nice to have him around to help out.
Thank you for the compliment, boss. As you see, I've been working closely with the boss on rebuilding Poisson. Mr. Malus was an extremely capable and respected member of the Spina. I've got some really big shoes to fill.
All right. There's no need to be so formal. Everyone's practically old friends by now. Were you waiting here for me? Did we manage to make any progress on the statue?
Yeah, we contacted a sculptor about the job, but they can't get started on sourcing a correctly sized block without knowing the design that we want to use first.
You're commissioning a statue?
So basically, we've been meaning to commission a statue of my parents in commemoration of everything they've done for the Spina and the town of Poisson. But since my father was known as Callus the Unfaithful for the longest time, it would have been too controversial to commission a statue of him. But now that his name has been cleared, and the town is also being rebuilt, I thought this would be the perfect chance to actually realize this dream.
Bien dicho, Navia.
Funds to build the statue were freely donated by the people of Poisson to show their appreciation for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callus and everything they did.
¿Y nadie debería ser parte de la estatua también?
Me? I'm just the newbie president that's running around and causing everyone trouble. Maybe we can have this conversation again in a few decades, once I've done more for the town and the people.
Hey, there's no need to be so humble. Didn't you just help save the entire country?
I agree wholeheartedly. I also believe that Boss should have a place on the statue.
Hey, if you keep inflating my ego like this, I might just float off into the
Créetelos,
sky with
te
my
los mereces.
parasol.
Nadia es también un personaje que estuvo muy atento
Just
en
kidding.
todo
There's no
la
way
historia de
I'd
Fontaine.
accept that kind of compliment at face value. At a minimum, I'd have to match what my father did for the people. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I just don't think I'm ready yet. Anyway, Florent, now it's up to us to confirm the final design, right?
Mm-hmm. We can ask the sculptor to start looking for a good block once we've decided on the poses for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callis. But we haven't had any real discussions yet on the possible designs. I feel like I should get a few promising designs first, and then send them
Qué
out.
sueño, chicos, perdóname.
There's no need for all that. Let's decide on a design right now. Hey, you! Come over here with me.
Ok.
Modeling a few poses, of course. Here, just pretend to be Callis, and I'll be Clementine.
Ah, caray, ¿quién dijo que iba a participar?
Didn't you say on the boat that Callis and Clementine sounded like great partners? Well, then there's no one better to fill this role than my most valuable partner. Florent, let's grab some reference shots.
You've got it, boss. I'll go get the camera.
Voy a buscar el daguerrotipo.
Well, what do you think? Got any ideas? Well, I've actually discussed it a bit with Florent before, but I could never come up with any fresh or original ideas. It's probably because my idea of them is already kind of set in stone. So, I want to pick your brain for a bit and see if you can come up with some new and interesting...
I'm all good here, boss. Feel free to start posing whenever.
Una pose imponente. ¿Qué tal si empezamos mirando el horizonte? Me gusta mirar el horizonte, chicos.
Ah, by that, do you mean as if we were standing on a boat and looking out at the sea? Sure, let's give that a try.
Qué incómodo.
Fine Paimon of a captain and their first mate. Look over there, my dear Clementine. As you can see, every tree on that island is dripping with mora fruit.
Ok.
But there's something off with the composition. This pose makes Mr. Callis look too tall now.
Sí, es lo que yo estaba pensando.
Oh, I see what you mean. Then let's swap.
Well, Paimon is a fan. A statue like this would look fantastic on a boat.
Wait, we can't do that. Very few people would see the statue if we were to put it on a boat. This statue is meant to be placed in the town.
Tienes razón.
Then, since we're putting it in the town, the whole point of the pose would be lost.
Oh, okay. We'll try to think of something else.
A happy pose? You mean something
No, demonios, te voy a elegir otro. Qué raro.
Would all that be able to come through?
Would we even be able to tell what they are supposed to be laughing about?
Yeah, and that'd probably be a massive pain to sculpt this.
Could one of you... that actually sounds pretty hard to pull off. Forget it, let's try...
Qué difícil esto.
imposing, huh? Oh, I've got it. Let's try this.
This pose. It makes me recall Spina di Rosula's glorious golden age.
Mejor.
But isn't Clementine's pose a bit too bold and heroic? Was she really that kind of person? If we were to stick with this pose, maybe people would wonder if she was actually the real boss behind the scenes.
Hey, Pinceles, va a hacer una estatua, me cago en todo.
Did indeed speculate as much back in the day, but the Spina pulled a few strings and made both the report and the journalist disappear.
Oh, Paimon was just kidding! Please don't make Paimon disappear.
What Laurent meant was that we asked the journalist to choose a new alias. You're right, though, that this may not accurately represent the image of her in our hearts. Let's try to come up with something else.
No. Eh, Se puso las gafas modo cool en la Navia con el paraguas.
Tried a bunch of different ideas, but none of them felt right. I'm on a lot of brain juice now, too.
Oh, don't worry. We still got a lot of reference shots out of the session, and each of them can be considered to be a souvenir in their own right. Let's just keep the ideas we tried as backups.
Qué difícil es hacer una escultura, me cago en todo.
Do a photo shoot with the traveler? I would have prepared a lot of outfits and props ahead of time. Oh, outfits! That's the errand I forgot back in the city. Do either of you
No,
still
no me
remember
acuerdo.
the girl I went to see with you two? Her name is Adele.
Oh, Paimon remembers her. She was the one that we met while investigating Mr.
No, no me acuerdo. Siempre estuvo convencida de que su padre Jax era una buena persona.
Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about. So, after the case, she was finally willing to talk to me. And she told me that she wanted to
Rosula.
join the Spina too. I said that it's fine, but young children are not allowed to join the Spina. She will just have to wait a few years, and then we'll welcome her with open arms. Since she's still a child, though, she thought I was just trying to let her down gently. But how could I get her to believe that I meant what I said? In the end, I came up with an idea. I'd have a Spina uniform made and give it to her as a gift. But I got so busy and distracted in the city that I forgot to pick the uniform up. So I did forget something important after all.
Don't worry, boss. I can send someone to pick it up right away.
Pues vamos nosotros, ¿no?
For the matter of the statue, we should still come up with a few more ideas for the design. I'll have to trouble you to source some for me.
We could have just done that from the start.
Cuánta confianza, Lumin. Cuánta confianza. ¿Y ahora qué están enfocando? Ah, pasar el tiempo.
Laurent, guess who's back?
¿Y este quién es?
Huh? But aren't you supposed to...
Oh, well, if it isn't Coulter. Back already from the Fortress of Meripede?
That's right. I finally finished serving my time. Gotta say, turns out I was a lot tougher than I thought. After I got out, I immediately made a beeline back to Poisson. You'd say that familiar, briny smell became a primal call, urging me to forget everything else and just come back home. You wouldn't believe how much I've missed Melissa's grilled fish. I dreamed about it every time I had to get a welfare meal down there underneath the sea.
¿Quién
It's
sabe?
good to have you back, Coulter. You look as well as ever.
And this guy is?
Let me introduce you. This is Coulter, another of Spina di Rosula's members. He was found guilty and sentenced to the Fortress of Meripede some time ago. But, looking at it now, it was probably another one of Marcel's plots while he worked at the Confrérie of Cabrières.
Wait, Mr. Marcel? What do you mean? He was involved in some sort of plot?
Have you not heard anything at all about the water from the primordial sea case?
Well, I know that Fontaine got flooded, but then the water levels miraculously receded. I thought that was all there was to it and didn't care to ask for any more details. Do you mean
Sí,
Mr.
mucho.
was somehow involved with all that?
Oh, looks like we'll have to explain everything from the top. That case, a lot of things have happened in Poisson since then. First things first, let me introduce you to these two. They're my most trusted partners, and they've been with me
¿Qué
through
onda?
thick and thin. Now you...
Oh, nice to meet you. I don't recall Navia ever generously complimenting anyone like that before. Must be
Gracias.
pretty amazing.
Se lo merece Lumin y Paimon. Bueno, Paimon no tanto.
Yeah, we are indeed pretty amazing. But we've been cool since before we even met her.
Humble again as always, I see. Even when I was totally sincere
¡Eh!
with my
Nosotros te
praise.
decimos eso a ti.
Nice. Spina di Rosula always seems to attract great people. Oh, that reminds me. Malus and
No.
Silver, aren't they always by your side?
About that.
Coulter, a lot of things happened while you were gone. As you can see, even Poisson isn't quite the same as how it was before you left.
They lost their lives, keeping me safe during the flood.
What did you say? This isn't some kind of morbid welcome home prank, right? You're just scaring me on purpose because I don't know anything about what's happened.
I'm sorry, but it's the truth. They weren't the only people we lost either. Many others, including Melissa, also lost their lives in the disaster.
Luce and Melissa, dead. They're just gone? Luce. I was planning to give him a surprise gift once I ran into him again in town. I can't believe it.
Hey! Keep it together.
Malus and Coulter were friends for many years, and even served on many missions together during the early days of the Spina. I can understand how he feels.
Let's sit down somewhere, so I can tell you everything that has happened while you were gone.
Me sorprende que nunca lo hayamos encontrado en el fuerte, me lo pido.
A lot.
Okay.
Habla con Coulter.
Nowhere to run!
All of this. It's unbelievable. I can't believe that those stories were real. It all really happened. Has the world gone mad?
Yo solo sé que son reales porque las viví de primera mano.
I think you and I both feel the same way about the profound tragedy of Melusa's loss. And the sheer depravity of Marcel's actions.
I thought Mr. Marcel would always stand by the Spina. Everything he had, the Spina gave to him. It's unconscionable to have received all that, and yet still plot to kidnap and dissolve you for his insane research.
The good news is that the Confrérie of Cabriere is no more. Gone with them too is the entire synth manufacturing and distribution network. We finally closed the curtain on that long struggle.
Are you sure? But if Marcel wanted to rebel against us, he probably sent word in secret to Romeu.
Romu?
Not a name I've heard before either.
Ok, eso es
I
nuevo.
remember him. You see, there was once a major internal dispute regarding funding the construction of the aquabus lines. Romeu was the leader of the faction that thought such a vast sum of mora would be better spent improving the town of Poisson. But Mr. Callis believed that an opportunity to collaborate with the court of Fontaine and the Fontaine Research Institute was hard to come by, and would allow us to build many valuable relationships. Not only would the aquabus be a good business investment, it would also boost our reputation among the general populace, eventually paying us massive dividends down the line.
Perdón, chicos.
But the two couldn't come to an agreement. Romeu ended up taking a lot of people with him when he left Spino di Rosula altogether, and the split was on extremely bad terms.
Ugh. And with Papa's stubbornness, I can definitely imagine how it must have gone down.
And of course, when he was suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous injustice, those relationships that he spent a fortune to build didn't help in the least.
Yeah, You could say it was the price he paid for sticking to his beliefs.
Pero ahora tiene pinta de ser el primer conflicto que tuvieron.
Oh, that's a good point. If Callus was really as stubborn as you say, then wouldn't he have argued with the rank and file all the time?
Oh, yeah. It eventually became a thing that just happened on every day that ended with Y. But Navia, boss, you might not know this, but he wasn't always like that. He used to be a lot better with taking counsel. With him listening to our advice, and Ms. Clementine also frequently on our side, it was pretty smooth sailing for a good many years. But on the matter of the aquabus, even Ms. Clementine completely stood by Mr. Callus's side.
Huh. I never knew. But from my perspective, Romeo's position had a lot going for it. Couldn't they have sat down and talked it out?
I think the aquabus was just the straw that broke the camel's back. On that topic, they eventually came to a rather radical conclusion. They believed that Miss Clementine lost her ability to serve as an impartial mediator when she became pregnant with Callus's child.
So, they thought she had betrayed them? But that doesn't make any sense. Before she was their mediator, my mother was also her own person, and a member of the Spina. She should have the right to take any side she wished.
Yeah, but to them, even taking a side was betrayal enough. They felt like their voices could no longer be heard once their sole mediator had gone over to the other side. Of course, Ms. Clementine then passed away, and Mr. Callus began to regard the completion of the Aquabus project as her final wish. With that, the last hope of reconciliation was gone.
So that's what happened.
From that point on, Romeo and his people cut ties with the Spina, and never gave us any kind of professional or personal courtesy ever again. Perhaps they've regarded us as enemies ever since they left. But even so, there is still no proof that they ever acted in concert with Marcel.
I've also heard that they aren't in a good financial position, so they've been lying low for a while. But as long as they exist, they'll continue to be a threat.
Ya veo.
I think Coulter's got a point. Both Marcel and Romeo had my father in their sights for a very long time. Even though Marcel's faction has been dissolved, we still don't know anything about Romeo's whereabouts. If they're still trying to get revenge on us, with how distracted and vulnerable we are, now would be the best time.
Good thinking, boss. We should keep an eye on them at all times. I'll let my men know right away.
Thank you for that, Florent. And Coulter, thank you for telling me about this as well.
Don't worry, it's nothing. Do you have a moment right now? How about we go out for a walk? I've heard so many incredulous things today. I'm finding it a bit hard to calm down even now. I mean, to think that I'll just never see them again.
In that case, why don't we go back to the court? I can pick up Adele's uniform while we're there as well. It'll save Laurent's guys a trip. Want to come with me again, you two? You don't mind, do you, Coulter?
Of course. That's fine by me.
Muy bien, vamos. Aunque creo que sería mejor que ustedes dieran.
Impinging on this visit.
Estamos deseando conocer al futuro miembro de Espina de Jerusalén.
We really are the best of partners. Come on, let's go.
Marchando. Hacia donde tengo que ir. A la corte de Fontaine. Otra vez hay que regresar al bote. Parece que no puedo ir directamente a la ciudad y ya. Ahí estoy.
Surrender!
Are we not taking the boat this time?
It's nice to walk from time to time, isn't it? Think of it as something like a hiking trip.
Ya veo.
Once we're there, we can stay a few days before we return.
Sounds good. I haven't walked this road in a long time.
Nowhere to run!
Ta, 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 ta. No. Ta, 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 ta. Da, da.
Well, we've walked far enough for now. Let's take a break. Since we're out for a walk, we shouldn't stress too much about the destination.
I've grown old, so I'm not as fit as before. It's a good thing that at least my work down in the fortress was quite the workout.
Well, Paimon thinks you're doing great. We didn't have to slow down for you at all.
Back in the days before the aquabus lines were built, we often had to hike north with our goods, then catch a boat to the court. Malus and I must have traveled this way hundreds of times. When we were tired, we would lay down for a while on the grass, and when we were hungry, we'd catch a fish or two. The Spina was still on the rise back then. Mr. Callus was generous, and everyone had the chance to strike it rich. So, of course, we all worked really hard. And now, in the blink of an eye, the aquabus lines have been built, and this road has fallen into disuse.
Así uno puede alejarse de las multitudes.
Oh, I know. I was just being a little nostalgic.
Then let's stay here a bit longer. Anyone want snacks?
Oh, is this another chance to try some of Navia's macarons? Paimon's been dreaming of them.
Yep, I figured you wouldn't say no to a few more. Oh, wait. Let me check if I have all the ingredients. Malus and Silver used to take care of tasks like this. Okay. The stove's looking good. And as for the ingredients...
Hola, Bellito. Muchas gracias por pasarte directo. Te lo agradezco mucho. Muchas gracias.
The two most important ingredients of all. Oh, would you? Oh, but it would be too much to ask you to go on a trip.
Pero si ya tengo, ¿para qué tengo que hacer el viaje?
Contribute to making the macaron too. Don't worry, we cook out in the wild all the time, so she should have some stuff on hand.
Oh, that's great. Then I'll leave the ingredient gathering to you. As long as we have some sweet flowers and
¡Oh!
I can start the
¡Qué
baking.
hueva!
Then I'll go look for some boxes nearby for a makeshift table.
Entro y lo primero que veo es a Paimon. ¿Qué buena suerte tengo?
Let's get to work, everyone.
Afortunadamente no está hablando mucho, así que estoy tranquilo. Oigan, ¿qué tengo que hacer? Trigo y flores dulces. Perfecto, tengo todo.
Ah, how did it go?
Toma. Y toma, tengo un 5.
You've all done your part. Just leave the rest to me.
Whoa, these macarons look and taste magnificent! Your cooking is as good as ever, Navia.
Boss's baking skills have always been famous. Everyone in the Spina knows how exceptionally talented she is.
¡Hueso!
Oh, it's just a...
¿Qué es eso que iba corriendo detrás de Navia?
For it like that.
Have you two seriously never considered joining us? You're so close to the boss, and she obviously trusts you with all her heart, so...
¿Acaso pretendes que el gremio aventurero se quede sin mí? No hay que ser tan arrogantes, chicos. Hay que ser humildes y modestos. Por favor, chicos. Todavía tenemos unos asuntos pendientes.
Yeah, I see. Is that why you have to always stay on the road?
A hueso que sí. Tenemos que encontrar al hermano de esta morra.
To walk in on our little reunion. It's actually been quite a while since we last spent time together. Adventurers never stay in one place for long. The name of Spina di Rosula would just tie them down. Besides, after everything we've been through together, I'm sure our hearts would remain intertwined even if we found ourselves on opposite sides of the world.
Tienes toda la razón, Navia.
Even if Paimon was far beyond
La serie de Minecraft de Silver. Los dioses del Olimpo me han abandonado.
macaron.
I understand now.
¿Por qué? No, yo no quería hacer esa serie.
Graced with the chance to meet the two of you.
Esa es una frase de Kratos, además.
Yet fortuitous encounter, and enjoy every moment we spend together.
We've got no wine with us, but let's still toast with water in celebration of this moment.
Claro que sí. ¡Ey!
Cheers! Hey, what are you doing? Quick, join in on the toast!
May your travels go smoothly. May the spina continue to grow.
No te preocupes, aún falta mucho. Todavía nos falta hasta la 4.6 para que nos vayamos. Cuando ya pase la 4.6, ahora sí nos regaremos a la chingada.
Let's move out.
Ahora, ¿dónde estoy? Ah, no, ahora sí quieres que crucemos ahí, ¿verdad? Dios mío santo, parece que no podemos haber hecho desde el principio. Dios mío santo, hoy estoy borracho. Oye, vámonos así, ¿no? A ver... A la madre, qué voz me salió ahí. ¿Qué pedo? Me refiero a tu serie. Ah, sí, la serie que llamé Manco Squad.
Ludovine? How
Así es,
business.
así es como llamé la serie Manco Squad.
The demoiselle of Spina de Rosula. I must say, your generous patronage is
¿Por
the
qué?
one thing to
No.
keep me from going bankrupt.
¡No!
Nonsense. We all know what a talented
Ah,
business.
me cago en todo, me troleó.
No, man.
Me engañaron, chicos, me engañaron.
My mistake, my mistake.
Es la falta de costumbre.
Here for the uniform? Yep. I forgot to drop by earlier when I was running errands around here. I didn't expect Demoiselle to come and pick it up in person. It's just a uniform after all. Any of you...
Navia's always liked to take even small things seriously.
Hey, that's not the only reason I'm here. We mostly just needed a walk to clear our heads.
Claro que sí,
A
Navia.
few things more uplifting than taking the first step on a new
La
journey.
serie de Minecraft han pasado 84
Has
años.
got a point.
No, se llama Manco Squad.
Friends is always better than
Porque todos somos mancos, incluyéndome a mí, mi hermano, la Michi y mi amigo Andrés. Todos somos mancos. Mancos a otro nivel. No sé cómo me pasé Kimetsu no Craft en su momento.
Nadia wants to join the Spina?
A ver cuándo traigo la tercera temporada. Igual la tengo que hacer solo.
Any concrete reasons. All she says is that she really looks up to me. After we cleared her father's name, she became a lot more cheerful and outgoing. She said she used to be terrified.
¡Ey! Ya nos están espiando.
As a result,
No hay respeto en este juego.
super scary as well.
Siempre hay alguien que nos espía.
Is very different now. She mustered up the courage to talk to me and felt like I could really understand her.
Ambas han vivido una situación similar.
You could say that. By uncovering the truth about the case, I was able to give her closure at the same time. She said that she wanted to become someone like
Perdón,
me.
chicos.
Someone who could lend a hand to others, instead of standing still and waiting for others to help her.
From the sound of it, she'll be a wonderful addition to the Spina.
I think so too. But for now,
En la Manco Squad he sido abandonada.
She can commit to us once she's
Y ese vato que no deja de espiarnos. ¡Vete! No, no estás loca, estás pensando bien.
Is something up, traveler?
Ahí nos vigila. Novia. Navia. Navia. Con A. Navia.
Tailing? Oh, someone's coming.
Novia. Bueno, entiendo que sea el autocorrector, pero novia. Navia. ¿Por qué ese?
All right.
¿Por qué ese?
Paimon saw them too. They
Novia. Pero corre, Lumen.
Stop right there.
¿Cómo corren? Te tengo. Ah, chica, ¿cómo llegamos al frente de ellos? Vagos.
We're gonna need to teach them a lesson first.
Por supuesto.
There's no need to skulk in the dark anymore. Let's take them out.
Con gusto te pateo el trasero. A ver. Espérame. Quiero ver. ¡A la madre! ¿Cuánto ataque tiene esta morra? 130 de crítico. Muy poco crítico se me hace. Vamos a ver cómo está. A ver. Esto que es horrible. Tiene. Fuera el corrector. Ok, entiendo eso. Te perdono. Bueno, no quita nada mal. ¿Cómo te atreves? Toma mi escopeta. Ahora la Segunda Guerra Mundial. Acá está.
Now, talk. Who are you? And why were you tailing us?
Debiluchos.
Don't think we'll let you off easy if you keep silent.
Y te atreves a enseñar con escapar.
How did it go, boss? Are any of you hurt?
If you thought they stood any chance against us, you were sorely mistaken. Anyway, stop playing tough and start talking. There won't be any room for negotiation once the Maison Gardiennage gets involved.
We're looking to get vengeance on Spina di Rosula. We were discovered and can't beat you in a fight. We admit it. We lost.
Get revenge? Wait, you're not Romeu's followers, are you?
You actually know that name? But if you do, then surely you should understand why we hate you so much.
Si yo fuera tú, bajaría sus humos.
Indeed. You haven't got the faintest hope of winning right now.
We were out drinking when we saw Navia. We got so angry we decided to follow you guys and look for an opportunity to...
Nadie, el Genshin. Debemos hacer el mejor modo de juego posible. Como si Genshin fuera a hacer eso. Mientes. Ustedes llevan todo el camino siguiéndonos.
You're pretty sharp, but so what? We didn't do anything. And now it should be pretty obvious that we can't do anything to you anyway. Seeing you like that just really ticked us off. And we let the drink go to our heads.
Listen, Callus is long dead. No matter what happened in the past, I want to be able to start things anew. I am the current president of Spina di Rosula. If your boss wants to talk with me, I'd be happy to meet with him. I won't press charges for your attack. That should also help demonstrate my sincerity.
I understand. Thank you.
En Minecraft, que pongan mob nuevo cada año. Estaría chido, pero los que mojan es una compañía muy floja. Y no cumple con lo que promete.
All right. We get it. Come on, let's go.
Patea en el trasero.
Are you sure it's okay to just let them go like that, Navia?
I don't want to inherit my father's grudges, too. And moreover, when it comes to the Aquabus, I don't think what my father did was entirely correct either. If the other side is willing to talk, I'm happy to open the door for a reconciliation. Opportunities for new beginnings are all around us.
I support Boss's decision as well. The concept of an eye for an eye is a primitive practice that has no place in today's Spina di Rosula.
Yes. Plus, we already know that they're strapped for cash. If their financial situation is that dire, they don't have what it takes to challenge us. So this may be the best time to talk. I still think we should keep an eye out for Romeu's folks, though. If he decides to ignore the warning I gave him,
No te preocupes, tendré los ojos bien
we
abiertos.
still have a fight on our hands.
Yeah, those guys definitely didn't look like big fans of yours.
I'd rather things not go that far, since, though we haven't talked to each other for years, once upon a time we were all a part of the Spina di Rosula family.
Yep, that's how I feel as well. Anyway, now that we've sent them packing, we don't have to worry about those guys anymore. It's getting late already. So why don't we stay the night in the Fleuve Cendre? We can head back to Poisson tomorrow. I'll also ask someone to...
Apuesto un montón de números a que no le hice el número completo. Claro que sí. Has atinado, muy bien. No lo leí completo.
In the Fleuve Cendre again. Even the pillows there smell like seaweed.
Sorry.
Has ganado todos los números porque no me molesté en leer ese número tan largo.
Poisson's pretty much the same though, so I've long since gotten used to it. We can still go out in the evening for some grilled fish and drinks, so.
Tiene pescado a la parrilla, es de Mondstadt. Dios mío
How does that
santo.
sound?
Huh. That does sound pretty cool. Okay.
Muy bien, vamos, ¿dónde estoy? Dirígete al río Ceniciento. Hup.
Coming back here really does feel like this place is starting to grow on Paimon.
Hmm.
If you think about it, it would be kind of weird if the Spina's base at the court was some super luxurious building like the Palais Mermonia.
Totally. Right on the money, Paimon. Although, of course, with the continued growth of the Spina, Papa wanted Poisson to eventually grow into a metropolis, not unlike the court. He was a very ambitious man, who rarely looked behind or beneath him. For better or worse, that always made him stand out from the crowd.
And that's also why people hated him just as much as they loved him.
All right. Why don't you go wait for me at the restaurant? I'll go do some prep and I'll get someone to tidy up your room while I'm at it. You can use the same room as last time.
Solo iba a llegar primero a la mea que te la meta primero llegar. ¿Eh?
Oh,
Ah,
did I
ok.
just hear someone taking a dig at Fleuve Sandra? I'll tell my guys to stuff your pillows full of actual seaweed.
Eso, Navia. Trata mal a Paimon. Eso es todo.
Please have mercy, Navia. If you do that, then Paimon really won't be able to sleep at all.
I was just kidding. Be on your way now.
Se supone que tengo que ir. ¿Eh? Siéntate adentro y espera que el banquete comience. Ah, me tengo que esperar, tengo que sentarme. Ah, ya. La noche transcurre tranquila mientras disfruta de la cena. Cuando todo se acaba, pone tú regresas a su habitación y de repente alguien llama a la puerta. ¿Ya están dormidas? ¿Están despiertas? ¿Navia? ¿Qué ocurre?
Oh, no, not at all. I just figured that since we don't get to enjoy nights like these very often, wanna go fishing? I've got some rods and lures ready.
Oh, so that's the prep you were talking about. Sure, we'll come.
Qué linda es Navia. Pero no supera a mi hermosísima Shanke.
Wake you, or
El videito chido. Yo hago los mejores chistes de Riverso. Estos chistes me recuerdan al Don Comedias de Genshin Impact.
I knew it. You really are my best partner. Okay, let's go.
No manches, tenías que irte más lejos, ¿es en serio? Ya traigo puesto el Nauri. Me cago en todo, no puedo nadar más rápido. Caminar en el agua es increíble. Tal vez sean malos, pero tú te ríes de ellos. Es que son tan malos que son buenos. Son tan malos que son buenos.
You know, attentively watching the float and then excitedly reeling in the catch when you finally hook something.
Well, that's one way to enjoy fishing. What do you think, traveler? That's how I feel as well. To me, I'm happy as long as I catch some fish.
Honestly, Paimon's mainly shocked at how much energy you still have at this hour. Usually by this time of night, it's a struggle for Paimon to even keep her eyes open.
Huh. It might just be something that runs in my family.
That's a thing?
I'm sure you'd get even sleepier if I delved more deeply into it. Anyway, I was just thinking about how grateful I am.
Uy, ya no falta mucho para que caiga la misión. A ver, de que sea una larga de unos 30 minutos, que espero que no.
But the more that he tried to get me to become like him,
¡Que arda, Troya!
I wanted to listen to what he had to say. My
No tengo a nadie.
Had those kinds of expectations, though. I've heard that she had only one wish for me, which was that I would have a happy and secure childhood. All the members of the Spina greatly respected her wish, so no matter what I did as a child, they were happy to humor me.
¡Qué arda, Genshin! Me dan ganas.
You imagine
Honkai está regalar un personaje legendario y Genshin Impact no es capaz de hacer un buen aniversario por una vez en su vida. ¡Que arda, Paimon! ¡A huevo! ¡Quemen a Paimon viva!
No matter what Papa yelled, nobody else would say a word. Eventually, Papa must have recognized scolding me.
Eso sí, algo que me encarga de Hoyoverse, la compañía que creó Genshin Impact, es que tenga preferencia con otros juegos que casi no tienen popularidad, en vez de concentrarse en el juego que es más popular, el juego que sí tiene ventas.
Looking back on it now as an adult, I can hardly believe how patient.
Pinche empresa tacaña. Bueno, pinche parte de trabajadores que trabajan en Genshin Impact tacaños. ¿Por qué yo? ¿Por qué yo? ¿Yo qué hice? Yo no hice nada. ¡Ah!
I saw Malus come back wounded. He wouldn't tell me how he got injured, but I could tell it had something to do with me. I learned then that there's always a cost to making a mistake. The more you care
Bueno,
about
ese no.
those around you,
Gracias.
the more you care about doing the right thing.
Muchas
to the best
gracias.
of your abilities. Because
Esa de las típicas misiones que es mucha Biblia.
there'll inevitably come a time when you'll have to face the consequences.
Pero como siempre, Fontaine tiene una historia muy triste.
Those most precious to you really will throw themselves in front of you.
En serio, Fontaine ha sido de las reacciones con la historia más triste que he visto, en serio,
Sorry. I shouldn't have brought that up. I wasn't planning to talk about sad things tonight. Basically, I was just saying that the nurturing atmosphere of the Spina must have been my mother's legacy, rather than my father's. And if that's the only way that I can continue to feel her love, then I'd like to pass that warmth on.
Is that why you let those guys go today?
Although, maybe there's a part of not wanting to repeat the mistakes of the past. I want to be reasonable, at least. Hey, look! I think you've got
Pesca.
something on the line.
But why isn't the rod automatically reeling it in?
Oh, there must be something wrong with how I installed the mechanism. It was my first time putting those rods together. We can't let it get away. Come on, you two. Let's catch it.
Vamos, corran. Sí, no seas loca. Pinche Paimon, ella come gratis y no quiere hacer nada. Consigue capturar un gigantesco pez. Hace el tiempo que continúa atrapando peces, sin embargo, nadie no es capaz de pescar ni un solo ejemplar. Convencida de que no es un día de suerte, nadie se dispara a volver a su habitación. Es entonces cuando Paimon se percata de lo que estaba pasando.
You didn't attach a hook to your line?
Ah, no tenía anzuelo. Qué buena es Navia, es increíble.
Wasting time. The boss ain't gonna wait all day. We'll go ahead with the operation tomorrow. Do with that information as you wish.
Well, your rod was missing a part, too, so I guess that makes it fair.
Well, if we're just talking about the number of missing parts, sure. Oh, never mind. Paimon really can't keep her eyes open anymore.
All right, go to bed. I had a great time today. See you tomorrow.
Taca, 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 taca.
So how was last night?
Paimon dreamt that she danced with the sea stars, so you could say it was stellar.
Sí, no, es muy malo. ¡Mencionó el Sino! Me gusta traigo el Sino puesto. Me encanta, me encanta. Según tú, ¿cuáles son los problemas de Genshin? La parte que traje Genshin es tacaña. Algunas misiones tienen un texto excesivo. O sea, no hacen mejores, no escuchan casi a la comunidad, muy rara vez la llegan a escuchar. En parte, el mayor problema de que tiene Genshin Impact no es el juego, sino las personas que están trabajando en el juego. Y no quiero aclarar a todo Hoyoverse, porque hay porque Hoyoverse se divide en varias secciones. Cada sección se encarga de administrar un juego de Hoyoverse. En el caso de los que trabajan para Genshin Impact, son muy tacaños. Sino es muy mala influencia. Me encantó. Eso es todo. Ese es mi Sino. Tú no sabía que mencionaban el Sino aquí.
I didn't know you had such a great sense of
Y eso le da risa. Pinche Sino.
Anyway, let's head out. I'll arrange for a boat to take us back to Poisson. I'm sure Adele will be happy to see you two again.
En parte, como te digo, son las personas que trabajan en Genshin Impact. Los que son el problema, no no el juego en sí. Porque el juego es increíble. Pinche Sino, tenías que meterle influencia al Paimon. A la Paimon. Ya sacar, como pueden ver la misión, chicos, ya está en reclamos de protogemas. Y creo que ya llevamos 1 hora. Si las personas dieran un poco de mejor recompensa, un mejor aniversario, escucharan más a la comunidad, creo que Ton Comedia fue mencionado. Sí, literal, justo el personaje que traigo. ¿Quién diría que Don Comedia tendría participación en esta misión? Sí, no es mala influencia.
We're back. We brought you a gift from the court too.
Whoa, thank you so much, boss.
Don't call her boss, okay, Adele? Just Miss Navia would be fine.
Oh, it's all right. I don't mind. Besides the gift, I've also got another surprise.
¿Yo qué?
Who's here?
It's been a while.
Hola.
Oh, it's you two. It has been a while indeed. Thank you so much for your help on Jacques' case. I've heard that you also helped save all of Fontaine. You're truly just like the great heroes of legend.
You're really amazing. And if Miss Navia's your friend, then she must be super amazing too. What's in this thing? Can I look?
Of course. Go on.
El informe de espina no rosula. Pensarlo bien, espina no rosula.
Ah, it's
¡Demonios! Me equivoqué. No es una campesina. Aquí no hay discriminación de nada.
Isn't it a bit
Es un regalo para mí, pero es demasiado grande. No podría ponérmelo ahora.
Well, it's a gift for future you. When you first told me that you
Espina
were
di
interested in
rosula.
the Spina, I was overjoyed. But it's the Spina's responsibility to protect everyone as well. Being a member means becoming involved in all kinds of dangerous situations. And since you're still young, I don't want your mom to have to worry about your safety. So I turned you down then by telling you that you'll have to wait until you're older. But this uniform is a promise that you can join us once you're old enough to wear it.
Oh, so that's it. Well, thank you so much, Miss Navia. Work hard and
No puedes apresurar eso. La imaginación de los niños.
Can't really grow up faster by working hard. You've got to be patient.
Ay, los niños. Qué bonitos son los niños.
I'm really grateful that you remembered my daughter's wish.
Qué lindos son los niños, en serio.
Thanks to the protection of the Spina.
Spina di Rosula.
No longer with us. We've still felt plenty of
Mucho texto. Sí, Genshin es muy así. Mucho texto.
It's the least we could do.
Siempre que hagas un directo mío de Genshin Impact, prepárate porque las probabilidades de que sea mucho texto son muy altas.
Boss!
¿Qué pasó? ¿Por qué quitaron la musiquita de repente?
Something up, Laurent?
I've got something urgent to report. Romeu and his folks have gathered outside Poisson and
¿Qué
they've
fregados?
a huge pile of explosives.
What? Explosives? What do they want?
It seems like they've been planning this for some time. We started investigating as soon as we received your letter yesterday. But Romeu and his folks must have gotten wind as well, because they abandoned their former posts before we could even check on them. We investigated their tracks and found out that they're after Poisson.
Could they have smartened up since we caught them red-handed at the court?
Scooter y Strikey.
And sitting down talking
No sé qué es eso.
We should have gone straight to the Maison Gardiennage.
Sorry, I underestimated the situation. Well, too late now, I suppose.
On the hill to the east of Poisson, near the Clementine line.
No le hagas caso. Ok.
They want to blow up the Clementine line?
Certainly sounds like it.
Romeo and his followers hate the Spina and everything to do with Callus. And the Aquabus was the source of their contention. If they manage to blow up the Aquabus line, all that rubble will come crashing down the hill and straight into Poisson.
Are they insane? There's tons of innocent people in Poisson.
Yeah. If they've been planning this for ages, they're definitely not going to let this opportunity slip by. We have to issue an evacuation order to the townspeople and get them as far away from the entrance as possible.
Let's get everyone onto our ship. That should be the safest place.
My dear partner, can I leave the Clementine line?
Ya me cargo. Eres parto su madre.
Explosives do go off. Not only would the people of Poisson be in danger, any aquabuses using the line would plummet.
Están
to the ground.
locos.
Let's stop their insanity first, then settle the score with them.
Buen plan. Yo me encargo. Le patearé el trasero.
Stay safe too.
Nadie se mete con Navia. Y digo, porque nadie se mete. ¿Por qué? Porque Navia fue de los primeros personajes en los que me cayó bien.
We've got to act fast. Miss Coralie, please take Adele to the ship.
Ah, con traidor.
Watch out, boss! What do you think you're doing, Coulter?
I thought all the annoying little hindrances had left, but I still couldn't get rid of you.
¿Dónde está el campesino? ¡No!
This was all a trick? So that you'd be left alone with me? Oh. I get it now. You knew about their plans all along. You only told us they were doing badly so that we'd drop our guard.
Not quite. Though I share their positions on some issues, I've never cared for his more radical ideas. And that's because, out of the entire Spina di Rosula, I only hate you. Only you, Navia.
You better stick close to me.
Romeo promised me that he would leave Poisson alone if I could just take you out. But it was like you were glued at the hip to that pesky traveler. You never gave me a chance to make my move.
El mejor chiste.
Romeo has lost his
Sí,
patience.
muy buen chiste, campesino.
But I swore that I'd kill
Se nota que
you, even if
te
it
cae
meant
bien el sino.
you in the rubble.
Why?
Only someone as clueless about the past as you would ask such a foolish question. You never saw the heyday of Spina di Rosula, nor did you ever live through the golden age of Poisson. But I saw it all with my own eyes, and then I had to watch it all die, little by little. And it was all because of you, Navia. Clementine died because of you. Callus died because of you. Malus and Silver died because of you. And so many more dead. Everyone dead, all because of you.
So the shock and grief you showed us before, that was in Act 2?
Now you're catching on. I heard Malus was dead the moment I got out. Did you know? Down there in that blasted fortress, I spent a long time thinking about what happened and resolving to apologize to Malus as soon as I got out. Back then, because of that aquabus, we had a huge fallout. I was convinced that all he cared about was loyalty, and that he had completely lost his capacity for critical thinking. The years passed by in a blur after that. I thought I had finally begun to understand him, and that he could help me relive the good old days again. But then he died, and it was because of you again, Navia. It's always because of you.
Me cae bien porque se parece a Anubis y yo soy muy fan de mitología.
I once loved the
Ya veo.
Spina and Poisson more than anyone else.
Pues sí, cierto, se parece. De hecho, el personaje fue basado en eso. Está basado en Anubis.
You've single-handedly destroyed everything that was beautiful. Everything I've ever loved.
Don't listen to him, boss. He's just spouting nonsense.
Have you ever considered that maybe the people around you don't actually care about you at all? Have you ever considered that maybe you only get respect because you're Callus and Clementine's child? That you've never done anything worthy? That you're just a big nothing? Have you ever considered that maybe people don't stay in Poisson because of you, but only because they have such beautiful memories of the past before you came?
Because if you do falter, there'll inevitably come a time when you'll have to face the consequences. And when that time comes, those most precious to you. Yeah, looking back on it now as an adult.
¿Cuál es la habilidad del campesino? Pues tiene varias. Transforma la maestría elemental en ataque.
Shut your mouth! I, for one, really like Miss Navi. I don't know how to explain it, but I like her, and that's that.
I'm sure Mr. Malus would be extremely disappointed in you right now. You've somehow managed to pin the blame for every mistake and tragedy in our history on the boss herself.
Get out of the way, Florent. I don't want to hurt you.
You're gonna have to. Boss, there's no time for this. Stop hesitating and get out of...
Maybe you think you're being the realist by painting the history of the Spina and Poisson like this. But the love that I felt from everyone was just as real. I felt it. They've helped me get to where I am. And even now, I will continue to believe in that love. So
Let's go. Eso es todo, Nadia.
How much I love the Spina di Rosula.
Dale. Ahora en la Segunda Guerra Mundial. Ah, qué tierno engendro de demonios, digo niña, del demonio, digo niña. Ok. Eso es todo.
Laurent, I'll leave the town to you. Summon the other members and help with the evacuation of the townspeople. If you find any of Coulter's accomplices, subdue them quickly. And don't give them the chance to harm any ordinary civilians. I can't allow my partner to face the danger on the Clementine line alone.
Got it, boss. I'm on it. Are you okay, Navia?
I don't know, but I have to go.
Hace un rato Pablo y tú fueron a toda prisa a la entrada de Poison.
Let's hurry up there. We have to protect the Clementine. If they're gonna blow up the waterway, they must have planted the explosives next to the...
Si me aparecen, juro que me los reviento. Así tan valientes, Vamos a ver si ahora sí muy valiente. Quítense de mi camino. Guilty. Quítense de mi camino, los mato, sí. Guilty.
These must be the explosives, right? And this is the control mechanism. How can we disable it? Oh, Paimon's too scared to touch any of this stuff.
Aquí.
Huh? There's a strangely shaped hole here.
Quizás era la ranura de una llave.
Oh, that certainly sounds possible. Maybe one of the people we just beat up has the key. Okay, you take this side, Paimon will take the other.
Ok. Busca la llave.
Let me turn this guy over.
Tenía un rábano este, what the fuck.
Oh, you found it! That's amazing!
¡Déjame moverme! No, pero no los mató, solo los dejó inconsciente. Pero faltas no hacen.
You do it, right?
Ganas no faltan.
Navi and Florent should be able to relax now.
No, no los mató, no los mató, no. Solo los dejó inconsciente.
Oh, you're right. They could have set explosives elsewhere too.
Ya me confundí, perdón, perdón. Solo los dejó inconsciente, solo los dejó inconsciente. No hay nada de qué preocuparse. ¡Pero quiten las bombas! Ay.
They're gonna bury Poisson!
Great work, partner. Just leave the rest to me.
Watch out, Navia! You can't block them all!
Look, I'm doing this the Spina way.
Me gusta que la viajera pueda usar esos otros elementos a pesar de que no sea la región. Desafortunadamente todo salió mal.
I heard from Thierry that even they're your enemies now. They were once a part of Spina di Ursula. Do you plan to settle this privately with them?
I have nothing more to say to them. Regardless of whether their hatred and anger towards me or the Spina was justified, anyone who's willing to endanger innocent civilians is no longer sane enough to even be worth trying to talk to. Please prosecute them in accordance to the law. Spina di Ursula will not raise any objections.
Sounds good. We're very appreciative of your help. Without it, the consequences would have been far worse. All right, this operation is a wrap. Take him away.
We saved everyone! And you?
Yeah. Luckily, we were just in time. It's probably because I expended too much elemental energy at once. I'll be fine.
But you usually glow up whenever other people compliment you. Paimon's not used to seeing you like this.
Bueno, ahora nada puede salir mal. No, nada puede malir sal.
Managed to catch
Ok.
all the infiltrators in the town. The Maison Gardiennage is taking them away as well.
Nada puede salir, nada puede malir sal. Tienes razón, nada puede malir sal.
Sent literally everyone he had, though. That also means we've caught them all too. We want.
Got it. That's good at least. Coulter, I can understand how you feel. The things that we lost, they're forever beyond our grasp now. I am not callous, and I will also never become him. The Spina and the Poisson that you loved are both gone. But I will not change how I feel about our future. I still believe that this is a great opportunity to start anew. I will spend more of what the Spina earns on the betterment of Poisson. What's more, I'd also like to propose some changes to the Aquabus routes, so that one day, the people of Poisson will enjoy the boons it brings as well.
I know what you're trying to say. Mr. Callus would never have said anything like that. There are too many things in life that are just beyond our control. In that, we are the same.
Henceforth, you are no longer a member of Spina di Rosula. But once you're discharged from the fortress again, you're welcome to pay another visit to Poisson.
Thank you.
Ese tipo salió de prisión hace poco y otra vez lo van a meter. No puede ser, o sea, ¿para qué te metes en pendejadas, güey?
As I thought. Boss really is a kind and gentle person.
She is also, I must say. Thank you for protecting the Clementine line. I was actually really scared, you know. I mean, even the Callus line won't be getting rebuilt anytime soon. If I'd lost the Clementine line too, I wouldn't know how to live with myself. A name is a way to etch a memory onto the world.
Tengo un buen mal presentimiento. Mira, lo malo ya se acabó. Ya no va a pasar nada malo, pero probablemente sí se torne mucho más triste la historia de lo que ya estaba.
Tall and proud. It makes me really happy.
What happened while we were gone? Honestly, you look more upset than tired or anything.
Just give her some time.
Thank you so much. Can you give me a hand? I really don't have much strength left. Traveler, I want to ask you something. And please,
¿Quién me invita a esto ahorita mismo?
See me as your partner?
Of course.
That's good then. Hearing that, it brings me more relief than I can say.
Pocas veces que vamos a escuchar hablar al viajero. A la viajera o viajero.
How do you feel, Navia? Any better after taking a break?
I feel quite a bit better. But I should probably still rest for a few more days. Sorry, partner. I said some weird things earlier. Feel free to just ignore me.
Bueno, nunca había dudado de ti misma.
I used to think that I'd never doubt myself. Coulter mentioned my parents, as well as Malus and Silver. It's all thanks to them that I've made it this far in life. Do you think they ever regretted the choices they made? Has my existence made this world a better place?
Don't think like that, Navia. You've already done more than enough. No matter what others think, we'll always support you to the end of the world.
Well, since it's
Se sentaron a mirarse a las
I
caras.
suppose it's time for me to make a confession as well. There's something that I've been keeping from you as well, boss. Please, follow me.
Florent, I hope you can understand that I can't deal with any more shocking revelations.
Bueno, dijeron tu nombre. Claro que sí.
Don't worry. This surprise will be a pleasant one.
No, es que mira, sí, en la historia se menciona un Silver, pero es otro Silver. Si vas a mis directos pasados de Fontaine, si quieres, al finalizar este directo te los puedo dejar en la descripción. En los personajes que hubo en la historia, hay uno que se llama Silver. Y dije, este es Silver. Siempre que hablaba Silver, yo decía, este es Silver bien sabio. Si quieres, cuando termine el directo, te puedo dejar el link de esos directos en la descripción para que tú mismo los veas. Pero sí, hubo un Silver en la historia, pero no era yo. Pero en serio, cuando estaba el personaje, ese personaje desafortunadamente murió junto con otros. Cuando ese personaje estaba vivo y hablaba, yo decía, este Silver siempre tan sabio, este Silver siempre tan bondadoso. Porque los Silvers nos tenemos que apoyar unos a los otros. Me acuerdo que yo tenía muchísimos nombres antes de empezar mi carrera de YouTube, o sea, usaba muchísimos apodos en los videojuegos. Hay veces que me ponía Shadow, me acuerdo que mi primer apodo en los videojuegos fue Shadow. Me gustaba mucho el personaje de Sonic the Hedgehog, el Shadow the Hedgehog, me encantaba mucho. Y al final me terminé poniendo Silver porque Pokémon fue una de mis sagas favoritas de videojuegos. Nunca lo vi. Te puedo dejar los links de los directos si quieres verlo. Pues bueno, Pokémon ha sido de mis sagas favoritas de videojuegos y pues el primer juego de Pokémon que jugué yo fue Pokémon Plata, o sea, Pokémon Silver. Y es por eso de ahí es donde surgió mi apodo Silver YouTube 9. Y parece que nunca lo veré. Pues si vas a mis directos pasados, pues lo puedes ver.
So I've decided to show you the designs before the final product was done.
Do I really look that bad?
Well, if you're ready, I'll unveil the present.
A ver. ¿Qué es? Ah, el boceto. Oye, qué chido se ven. ¡Ostras! Agregaron la labia ahí. Así es como se verá la estatua de espinas de Rosua. ¡Ah, la madre! ¡Lo dije bien!
This is Papa, Mother, and me.
We designed the look for Miss Clementine based on old camera records, as well as personal recollections.
¿Tú tienes TikTok? Sí, tengo TikTok.
Wow! This is the statue you mentioned before?
It is indeed. To be honest, we decided on the design.
Sí, pero solo subir muchos TikToks de Genshin Impact. Mi TikTok sí estaba más principalmente en Genshin Impact que cualquier otra cosa.
How could we only have statues of Mr. Callus and Mrs. Clementine?
Even though Boss is still young, we've all seen the work she's put in regarding the whole synth business. And
We wanted to commemorate her contributions with a statue as well.
I don't know what Spina di Rosula was like in the past, but I know it's a great organization.
Esa niña siempre es adorable. La juventud es hermosa, chicos.
I'm not worried about this place's future.
We are gathered here today to tell our boss that we support you and believe in you wholeheartedly. I believe everyone is here for you, not the...
That's what we believe as well.
Thank you so much, everyone. Then I'll be brave and just accept everyone's support for what it is.
No manches, ya voy a tener 1 hora y media de directo.
I never thought
Pinche Biblia que se avienta followers.
my mother, not
Juntos sobre las olas. Muy bien, aquí termina la misión. Una misión muy interesante, la verdad. Ah, deja ver, aquí está el campesino, como le dice Bellito. Muy bien, chicos, para terminar estos directos, primero, sí, la colaboración que hicieron. Elevadamente eterno y mundanamente terrenal. El Shongli antiguo, el Red Lapis antiguo. Nos dieron lo que es la estatua, una colaboración que hicieron. Ya hice la misión legendaria completada, invocador Rosales, que ya están las nuevas cartas. 2 jefes semanales se agregaron, su puta madre. Me agregaron a ella también. Sí, la verdad es como no. Muy bien, chicos, pues ya para finalizar el directo vamos a hacer 2 cosas. Primero que nada vamos a probar el personaje de Navia, porque a mí yo me gustaría usarla, ya la probé, pero quiero probarla aquí porque aquí está mejor build, ya aquí tiene una build que sí le conviene. A ver, ¿cuál es el set que tiene? Sí, tiene este, que no me acuerdo qué se llama, pero va a ser un poquito críticos. Me interesan los críticos, tiene un chingo de ataque, tiene mucha habilidad crítica, pero un daño crítico horrible. Y pues sus talentos están al 8, ni modo. Hola, envíen los cañonazos de la Segunda Guerra Mundial. Envíen los cañonazos de la Segunda Guerra Mundial. ¡Hola, madre! Ese disparo acaba de quitar 102.000. Ese disparo acaba de quitar 102.000. Ese disparo acaba de quitar esto. ¿Qué le pasa al mundo? 102.000 de un puto disparo, no manches. Oye, tranquila. Oye, la Navi ya veo por qué dicen que sí cumplió las expectativas. Pero desafortunadamente no voy a tirar por ella. Así que no insistan. ¿Por qué no voy a tirar por ella? La siguiente actualización lo más probable es que tenga mis personajes favoritos. Así que mis tiradas se van a ir por ella. Así que bueno, chicos. Y la segunda forma de tirar, de terminar este directo, ya muchos lo saben, que es enfrentar a la Shogun Raiden, o sea, darle un combatito ahí. Ya saben que a mí me encanta hacer eso, humillar a la Shogun Raiden. Y es porque estoy haciendo el reto de enfrentar a la derrotar a la Shogun Raiden 365 veces, o sea, un año prácticamente. ¿Cómo es que no he agarrado eso? ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? Ahí está, ya te vi, ya te vi, ya te vi. Esa cosa es muy importante, chicos, perdónenme. Oye, vamos a recargar. No me digas que esto es jefa. No, no es jefa. Gracias a Dios, porque si hubiera sido jefa. Surrender. A ver, a ver, a ver, a ver, a ver. Vamos con la Shogun. Aquí está. Nadie del Genshin le pone más texto a la Biblia, texto que la Biblia al juego. Le pone más texto que la Biblia al juego. Sí, técnicamente. Le pone más texto que que la Biblia al juego. Sí, ya sé. No entiendo por qué Genshin tiene la manía de hacer textos muy largos. Al principio no eran tan largos. Desde que entramos a Sumeru, las misiones se fueron haciendo muchísimo más largas. Y pues eso se ha vuelto un fastidio, la verdad. O sea, no voy a negar que de hecho la historia de Fontaine es interesante. La verdad, a mí me encanta la historia de Fontaine. Pero sí es muy molesto que sea demasiado largo el texto y exprese muchas cosas innecesarias. ¿Dónde estás? No la infecté en dentro, ¿verdad? No, ¿por qué no me agarra esto? Ah, te morí. Y me mató Purina. A ver, no me gustó esto cómo fue. No me gustó cómo fue. Esperen, voy a tener que reset. No me gustó para nada cómo fue esto. O sea, olvidé infectarla en dentro. Me mató Furina. O sea, cometí un chingo de errores, lo cual se me hace muy raro en mí, la verdad. Teniendo muchísima experiencia en Genshin Impact, me sorprende que haya cometido 3 errores y no darme cuenta. Así que espérame que tengo que repetirlo. Dios mío santo, eso fue muy bajo para mí. Fue muy bajo. A ver, espérame. Tengo que recargar otra vez las ultis porque es Dios. Y Furina, ¿cómo es que me mató Furina de un toque? En serio, fue muy bajo para mí que haya pasado eso. Muy bajo. La energía no es tan necesaria, pero igual eso la vamos a recargar. O sea, no es tan necesaria. Listo, creo que ya recargué todas. Ya están todas recargadas. Voy a curar un poquito. Listo, ya está. Ahora sí, ya vamos con verdadero intento. No voy a dejar de decirlo, fue un error, fue muy decepcionante de mi parte que haya pasado eso. Muy decepcionante. No la infecté dentro, no usé la ulti muy imprevisto y aparte me mató Corina. 3 errores. 3 errores. Si pasa un error u otro, no importa, pero sí sucedieron muchos errores. Y también la tecla W no me la está detectando y por eso me jodió un poquito. Pero bueno, ahora sí vamos con el verdadero intento. Ahora sí, que no se te olvide. Killed. A ver, ¿dónde estás? ¿Dónde estás? ¿Dónde estás? Ya te vi.
Your sins weigh upon your soul.
Your verdict is decided.
You stand condemned.
Esto. Bueno chicos, pues hasta aquí era el directo del día de hoy. Ya finalmente salió bien. Tengo que terminar con eso. Me encanta hacer eso. Pues bueno chicos, muchas gracias a todos los que estuvieron dentro del directo. En serio, se lo agradezco mucho. Espero que como siempre les haya gustado. Mañana no va a haber directo chicos. Mañana absolutamente no va a haber directo. Ya se los voy avisando. Video no estoy seguro, pero directo no va a haber. Probablemente si tienen video será la build de Navia, que no va a ser de mi cuenta, es la de cuenta de mi hermano. Es por eso que van a tener esa build. Si no es mañana, va a ser el jueves, pero mañana no hay directo. Así que bueno chicos, muchas gracias a todos los que estuvieron en directo, se les agradezco mucho, espero que como siempre les haya gustado y nos vemos, ¿qué más puedo decir? Nos vemos hasta la próxima, adiós, despídete si no, let's go, nos vemos hasta la próxima chicos.